Hello, hello, ladies. Kim Nanninga here, registered dietitian. We are going to give it a couple minutes. Everyone's just getting their notification that we are live. We are live. We are talking about a very important topic today, emotional eating. So I'm going to let everybody get on before we get started here. Hello, hello. I logged on just a couple minutes early today. So if I haven't met you yet, hello and welcome. So my name is Kim Nanninga. So I am a registered and licensed dietitian. I did go to Iowa State University. Not that any of this matters, but as people are logging on, I did go to Iowa State University. To become a dietitian, you have to go through almost 1,000 hours of unpaid clinical work. Sit for a board exam. Then every 5 years, I have 75 hours of continuing education. And one of the topics that I really, really love to dive into that I learned actually when I was at Iowa State University is nutrition counseling. Okay. And so I am trained and certified in nutrition counseling because I think all of us can agree that you may want to decrease inflammation or prevent diabetes or overcome emotional or lose weight. But so much of what we do is tied to our emotion. Okay. So hello. If you girls can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Right? Give me a thumbs up. I do want this to be interactive today, so I am going to ask some questions, and I'm going to have you chat with me back and forth in the chat. So if you are here today, give me a thumbs up. So we're going to be breaking down emotional eating, but it's so much more than that. I would say that this has anything to do with why we eat other than physical hunger. Okay. And so that's going to kind of come under the title of emotional eating, but you can reach for food when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're bored, when you're lonely, when you're tired, frustrated, emotional. And I just want you girls to know something, like you're not alone. Okay. So of those words that I just said, use the chat. When do you find yourself reaching for food? And I'm going to ask these questions again, but when you're stressed, overwhelmed, bored, lonely, tired, frustrated, tell me in the chat, when do you find yourself reaching? Maybe you're celebrating, okay? Emotional eating is not proof that you are weak or lack discipline. It's often a learned response in your mind and body, and you're actually looking to fulfill a need of comfort, relief, distraction, energy, connection, or safety. Okay? So this can be a temporary thing, but the reason that I'm going to talk about it today is because I believe that this is what throws women off when they find their rhythm and their groove. And so even in the VIP weight loss system, where we are currently coaching around 350 women currently, I know for a fact that these women are still navigating this. We will always navigate it. But what I want to do today is just kind of make you aware of the 6-step process that happens when we emotionally eat, why we emotionally eat, and then giving you some tools to overcome this. Okay. I also have a workbook that we put together. My amazing team took my brain and all of the things that I'm wanting to convey to you and helped me put this in a workbook. So if you want the workbook and you are here live, go ahead and this is going to be our food and mood workbook. So just comment that in the comments below, and we'll be sure to send you this so that you can take this information and really explore this. Okay. But for today's sake, you're here to learn. Okay. So anyways, I am a dietitian. I am trained in this. I do want you to know that if this goes beyond just kind of food and mood and things like that, like please let us know, and we can try and provide you with, hook you up with like a therapist or someone if you do feel like you have disordered eating. Okay. I have helped a lot of women with disordered eating, a ton of binge eating. We have a lot of women who come to us that have a history of anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, restriction, orthorexia, all of those things, and they find freedom through our coaching with food. Okay. So we are going to dive in today. So let's go through some of these emotions again. Okay. So number one, when emotional eating happens, okay, rather than physical pain or physical hunger, we're leaning into eating because of some emotion. So which emotion is standing out to you? Okay. So I think everybody's just getting logged on. So do you find yourself, and if you will, put this in the chat, girls, do you find yourself eating when you're stressed, sad, angry, overwhelmed, lonely, anxious, shame? Do any of those come to mind for you? Drop them in the chat. Maybe you eat because of celebrations, holidays, rewards, social gatherings, celebrations, things like that. Okay. The other thing I want you to know is that emotional eating is not always dramatic. Okay. Emotional eating can look like eating while watching TV, even though you're not hungry. Okay. Reaching for something sweet because you had a stressful conversation, snacking because you feel bored, using food as a reward after a difficult day. Okay. Continuing to eat after you are physically satisfied, eating to delay a task, right? Have you ever done that? Because you don't want to begin. Okay. Eating because you feel exhausted and need energy. This one happens a lot. Okay. So many of our clients feel really, really tired, and they're like, Kim, I'm craving. I'm addicted to sugar. And it's like, girl, I think you're tired. Okay. And so we really help you navigate that. Thinking I already messed up, so I might as well just keep going. Okay. That one happened with one of my clients last week. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to just break down the 6 steps of emotional eating. And then I'm going to go through kind of this little list of feelings and what you may actually be needing and how to have a more supportive response. So let's dive in. Okay. So first and foremost, the emotional eating cycle. First thing that happens. So there's 6 steps. So if you want to write these down, you can, but there's 6 steps to the emotional eating cycle. First step is the trigger. There's always a trigger. Okay, girls, I think it's really important that you're here learning this because awareness is everything when you want to break a cycle. Does anyone want to break their emotional eating cycle? Comment break the cycle. Comment break the cycle if that's you. Okay. I'm not seeing your responses live. I don't know why, but comment break the cycle. The first thing that happens, I wonder if I need to take my phone out of Do Not Disturb. Hang on just a second. Maybe that'll help. The first thing that happens is the trigger. So number 1, something happens to you either externally or internally. Okay. This is where the feelings come in. Okay. A stressful day, conflict, boredom, fatigue, feeling lonely. It could even be an external cue like seeing your favorite food, watching TV, feeling disappointment. Okay. So some trigger happened. Okay. That is number 1. Number 2 is that you have a thought or an emotion that is an automatic kind of thing that happens. Okay. And so really, because I'm talking about this, you're going to have so much more awareness around this now. So, oh my gosh, these are examples. Oh my gosh, I can't handle all of this. I'm so overwhelmed. I need to escape, right? I deserve something. I was good all week long. I deserve something. Okay. I need comfort. Maybe you're sad. Maybe something is heavy happening, and maybe you need comfort through your food. I have already ruined today. Maybe you blew it at lunch and you went out with your coworkers and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to throw in the towel. I've already blown it today. Food will make me feel better. Okay, so those are examples of thoughts that can happen automatically. And this is where we help you rewire your subconscious brain. Okay, and we're trained in this. We do this all the time with our clients to create freedom from food. But trigger is number one. The thought or the emotion is number two. Number three is the urge. The urge is when you experience this strong desire to eat, even when the physical hunger isn't there. Do you girls know what I'm talking about? Okay. If you have ever experienced this, comment urge in the chat. Urge. Okay. You have that strong desire to eat even though you're not hungry. Okay. Then number four is you eat. You have the urge, you give into the food. The food provides you this temporary comfort from that. It gives you comfort. It could give you a distraction. It could give you a stimulation. It could give you relief. It could give you pleasure. Okay. Now I want to be clear about something. Eating is good. Okay. And I'm going to kind of help you differentiate between physical hunger and like emotional hunger and getting back to the facts of your body versus kind of the feelings of the body. Okay. Now the aftermath, okay, number 5. So 1 is the trigger, 2 is the thought, 3 is the urge, 4 is the eating, 5 is the aftermath. The original emotion may resurface, okay? Sometimes this comes up and it's guilt, shame, discomfort, frustration, going back into restriction, promising of starting over tomorrow. I remember chatting with a client, her name was Stacy, and she just told me, she was like, Kim, I come home from work and I've been so good all day. I think I deserve something. Okay. I have it. I have too much of it. I don't feel good. I go into guilt, shame, and then I restrict and I don't eat dinner because I shouldn't have eaten that. And then it all starts over and I say, I'll do better again tomorrow. And that guilt and shame cycle has been going on for her for years. Okay. This is something that happens a lot. And so if this is something that's happening to you, you're not alone. Okay. We can help you break free from this cycle. But then number 6, okay, we ate the food, we have the aftermath. Number 6 is we have increased vulnerability. Okay. And this is where that next emotional eating cycle almost begins again. Okay. So just like I was giving you that example with Stacy, it almost begins again. Okay. And so, I just kind of wanted to break that down for you. So that's the emotional eating cycle. Now, I think it's important to differentiate between physical hunger and emotional hunger and really pausing and asking, am I physically hungry or emotionally hungry? I think even just the pause. Okay. And I'm going to teach you something that, is called NPC. It's something that we do in VIP, and one of our coaches, she's not with us anymore, Chelsea, taught us this. But anyway, physical hunger versus emotional hunger. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas how to differentiate this, but I do have a list for you again in my emotional eating guide workbook. Okay. So my food and mood workbook, if you want that, comment food and mood workbook and we will send it your way. But physical hunger, okay, it often develops gradually, whereas emotional hunger may feel sudden or urgent. Okay. Physical hunger usually includes physical signs, growling of your stomach. Oh my gosh, like, I feel kind of yuck. I need to eat. Emotional hunger often begins with an emotion, a thought, a habit, or a situation. Physical hunger, a variety of foods may sound satisfying, whereas emotional hunger often involves a craving for a specific food or experience. Okay. I know for me, popcorn is something that I will crave because it makes me, it's like nostalgic. Like I used to have popcorn with my family on Sunday nights and it felt really comforting and connecting. And so I tend to reach for popcorn. But anyways, it's just popcorn, right? I only want popcorn. I'm not hungry. I want popcorn and I want it now. Okay. That's an emotional hunger. Okay. And not saying that all of that is bad, but I think it's just being aware. Physical hunger usually decreases when you eat, whereas emotional hunger may continue even after physical fullness. Okay. Physical hunger usually, you can wait a little bit, like, oh, I'm hungry, but like, I can wait till I get home or whatever. Whereas emotional hunger, you may feel as though it must be satisfied immediately. Okay. So then with physical hunger, it ends, right? You feel physically satisfied. Whereas emotional hunger, you may end with guilt, shame, or continued searching for satisfaction. Okay. A lot of people tell me like, oh, like I was really craving M&Ms, but instead of having the M&Ms, I got out the carrots and the hummus, and then I ate that, but I wasn't satisfied, so I still had the M&Ms, right? Or we try and eat as many things as we can, and then we ended up searching for satisfaction. Physical hunger comes from the body's need for nourishment. Hear that. Physical hunger comes from the body's need for nourishment. Emotional hunger comes from the need for comfort, relief, stimulation, reward, connection, or distraction. I think it's really powerful to understand the two of these. Something that we help our clients with in VIP is reestablishing these physical hunger cues. Okay, so something that I have found in working with women, especially 40 plus, is that there's been almost a disconnect from our gut to our brain and our brain to our gut. So it's the gut-brain connection. It's a real thing. You have hormones and signals and all of that trigger from your gut to your brain and your brain to your gut. So leptin and ghrelin are two of those hormones that say, hey, ghrelin is, I think of growling, like I'm hungry, feed me, right? Like that's a physical sign. And then from the leptin says I'm full, right? So it's like, oh, I'm satisfied, stop eating. So many of the women that I meet, we have to really work to reestablish this connection. And a big part of this is getting back to helping a woman understand these things and emotional cues, and also making sure that she's eating routinely. Okay. And so if you are an emotional eater, one of the very first things that I would do is understand when that happens, what you crave, why that is, all the things. But then I would put together a plan for you that takes those things into consideration. And we really focus on nourishing the body many times per day. And it's crazy how some of these triggers actually disappear, okay? And we reignite that gut-brain connection. So I think that's really important to understand. And there's like an activity that you can do in here to kind of understand your body even more. What I want to do now is just kind of talk through some of the reasons that we do have, some of the feelings that we get that make us want to eat, okay? And I think it's really important for you to understand the emotion behind the trigger, okay? So for example, if you feel lonely, you may actually be needing connection, and instead of reaching for food, an idea would be to call someone, send a message, attend a group, or sit with a family member. Okay. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do, and in this workbook, I have this whole list of emotions or feelings. Okay. And so you're going to first identify how you feel. So step number 1 is I want you to notice what your emotion is, and I want you to write it down. Okay. And I will give you a list of different emotions so you can kind of like think about it, because sometimes you don't know how you're feeling. So you almost might need to look at a list and maybe circle like 3 of those things that happen a lot. I'm going to just kind of go through this list here. But that's number 1 is identify the feeling. Okay. So I want you to notice, Kim, okay, so I'm noticing that today I feel really overwhelmed, right? And when I feel overwhelmed, I tend to use food to give me comfort or something like that. Okay. So if that's my habit, if that's my pattern, first of all, I want to be just aware of it. And second of all, I want to come up with what I actually might need. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, maybe I need help. Maybe I need to think about how I can simplify something. Typically when I feel overwhelmed, I make a list 1, 2, 3. What are the 3 things that I need to focus on now versus spinning out, right? instead of going for food. Okay, so you can see how when you notice the feeling or the emotion, then we pause. Okay, NPC, notice, pause, choose. I'm going to go to this in my training. I'm skipping a couple of steps, but you can get the workbook and work through this. Okay. And it's not always emotions. Sometimes there's situational triggers. I want to point that out. When I'm at my desk, I do this. It's kind of like there's something you do when I get in my car, right? When I scroll social media, when I have a difficult conversation, when it's a holiday, when it's a this, when it's a weekend. Okay, we need to identify these things. Okay, so naming the emotion. Here is a part of the workbook and the worksheet. This page is going to be really good because I'm going to help you complete, this sentence. I feel because, and I need. Okay. So on this sheet, you're going to see all of these emotions. And so most emotions fall under these categories: happy, sad, angry, afraid, or ashamed. Okay. Now there's a lot of different ones in here. A lot of times mine are, I would say, probably more overwhelmed. Just a lot of things, a lot of moving parts. I think a lot of moms, especially business owners, can relate. So let's just say I feel overwhelmed because now I need to think about that. So like I have to name it. I feel overwhelmed because my day didn't start as planned, my blah, 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 my, just name it. Okay. I need blank. I need to get quiet and write down the 3 things I should focus on right now. Most times when we don't NPC, notice, pause, choose, use this sentence, I feel because I need, what happens is we're like, I'm overwhelmed. I want to escape. I want comfort. I need to we spin. I'm going to grab the chocolate. That feels good for how long, ladies? Okay. So we're noticing, we're pausing, and then we're choosing. Okay. So that alone can be a huge game changer. Okay. So that is something that I would, that we work on, with my clients. We did this last week. We have accountability calls, support calls, group calls, whatever you want to call it. We have 5 a week. Okay. Where our women come together and, we talk about these things, because I'm going to tell you something. I designed the VIP weight loss system, but I'm going to tell you, if we go way back, the goal of everything I've ever built has been freedom. Ever in my entire career has been about freedom. Freedom from dieting, freedom from food, freedom, okay, in your body, okay? And so the ultimate goal is freedom. And so when we can just look at this and say, sure, maybe I am an emotional eater. Okay. I think we all are in some form. Okay. Maybe it's not food for you. Maybe it's shopping. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's, social media. Maybe it's approval from others. Like, pick your poison, right? Maybe it's coffee. Maybe it's soda. But it all comes together that we're trying to satisfy an emotional need with a trigger, a food, a thing, but really it never gets solved. And so what we do is we get to the root. And that's why using this NPC, notice, pause, choose, I feel because I have a place where you can do this in your workbook. Okay. And so once you identify, let's just say the top 3 emotions that usually get you into this cycle, I'm going to have you explore what to do when that happens. I need to breathe. I need to go for a 5-minute walk. I need to pause and say 3 things I'm grateful for. I need to pray. I need to call a friend. I need to journal. I need to listen to music. I need to get out of my environment. And so I think all of those things are going to take you to the next level on your health journey. And I believe that for some of my clients, this piece of their health puzzle is the piece that will help everything else fall together. Because this is what I have to say. You can do the workouts. You can drink the lemon water. You can have the protein. You can eat the fruits and vegetables. But if we haven't dealt with emotional eating, if we haven't dealt with overwhelm, shame, and we're human, okay? They're like, this is going to happen, okay? It happens to me all the time, and this is my profession, okay? So it's going to happen. But if you're here or you're watching the replay, which if you are here watching the replay, please comment replay. I would love to just reach out to you and see what you think. But anyways, comment replay because this matters, okay? This matters. So let me see what else I wanted to talk to you. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. But yeah, so the next thing that you're going to do is honestly, you're going to write down 3 realistic, and if you want to do this right now, we're live, 3 realistic replacement behaviors. Okay. So these are called replacement behaviors. I'm just going to give you a few. So let's say boredom is one of your emotional triggers. You're bored. Okay. You could, instead of eating, go for a walk, do a craft, organize something, call someone, or learn something new. Okay. Let's say fatigue. This is so common. So many women stress eat or emotionally eat because they're actually just tired. Okay. And it's very normal for your body to give you cravings when you're tired. Like that is actually normal. Like it's a little tap on the shoulder. Like, hey girl, you need rest. Okay. So fatigue, instead of reaching for the food, honestly rest, sleep, reduce your workload, eat a nourishing meal if you're hungry. Let's do anxiety. Okay. Let's do anxiety and overwhelm. This one, actually, sometimes people actually undereat, for this one. They may undereat. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry because I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed and I'm anxious. And so I actually don't want to eat and I don't feel hungry. And then I don't feel hungry and I don't feel hungry. And then boom, it hits them. And now they're binging. Okay. This is a very, very, very common cycle. And so with anxiety reduction, practicing grounding, okay? And these are things we help our clients with. So like for me, if I am really overwhelmed or anxious, I like to go for a nature walk. Sometimes I'll even go barefoot if it's appropriate, okay? That is grounding. Yoga, all right? Maybe it's even laying on your yoga mat, breath work, calming music, or like I put on like spa music, prayer, or you may need to seek support. Okay. Celebration. This is a big one. Oh, let's celebrate. We this, or, oh my gosh, so-and-so won the tournament. Or, I mean, I feel like there's always something to celebrate, right? Where are my optimistic ladies in the house that are like, let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate. You did this. Let's celebrate. It's Monday. Let's celebrate. You know, it's like we always have something to celebrate. That's okay. But instead, maybe we plan an experience, right? Like, let's plan something. Let's go celebrate, but plan it. We plan an outing. We plan an activity, or we plan a meaningful tradition, okay? What happens when we're more aware is that the stimulation doesn't take over, and you're going to just feel more peace, more connection. And so these are just a few things that you're going to be able to do. There's even a boredom list. So if you're someone that's bored, here's a list. All right. So just an activity that you can do. So anyways, I hope this was helpful for you today. We do have like a food and mood journal. We have all of these things. So excited for you. I did want to also plug that we are having our first ever, what's for dinner system workshop, so that if you are someone watching this and you are thinking about food and you're like, okay, this all is great, but to tie in with the emotional part, maybe it's overwhelming to even plan meals, right? Maybe it's hard to cook for one. Maybe you're empty nesters. Maybe you have a family to feed and you're busy. So I am having my first ever meal planning systems workshop. Okay, we are going, this is next week. On Wednesday at 9 a.m. if you are interested in registering for that. It is a $200 workshop, but it'll just give you the inside scoop with an entire workbook, and you'll walk away knowing how to plan meals for your family so that no one's asking what's for dinner anymore. I'm going to share with you some of my secret hacks, tips and tricks, and even some ChatGPT prompts that you can use that'll serve you for many years to come. So if you want information on that, we are going to drop a link for you to register below. But more than anything, I just want you girls to know that emotional eating, food and mood is very, very normal. It's not going anywhere. But I think now we're bringing awareness, and I hope that this call, I really think that this call is going to change some women's lives. Okay, so get our workbook, get your food and mood workbook. Go ahead and comment food and mood workbook. We'll go ahead and send you a copy of that. It's 25 pages, girls. This is a huge giveaway. And we are just so happy you're here. Whether you are a current VIP client, whether you are brand new here, if I haven't met you. But girls, I just got to say something. Like, our entire company is ran organically. We are a referral-based only company. So the other thing that I will say is, if you are here and you are loving VIP and this has changed your life, share the mission with others. The greatest compliment that we could ever receive is a referral or a connection. So if you know someone struggling with food and emotional eating and dieting and just feels like they're constantly stuck, please know that you can connect them, and I would be honored to just talk with them and see if this is something we can help them with. So anyways, I'm hopping off to my next call, but girls, have a wonderful day, and thank you for being here. Kim Nanninga, dietitian, and I'm excited about this topic.